in yesterday's newspaper, and I agree with it. And I agree with you on the issue, and I hope the governor eventually comes and accepts the funding, even though we'll have a 10% match. That's peanuts to the amount we would get. And for that reason, I agree with you on a policy level, and I hope that that funding is eventually accepted by the governor's office. The problem I have is the manner in which you're attempting to communicate that message. We're a nonpartisan governing body. We act here not as Republicans or Democrats, but as members of the city council. We represent all members of Hoboken, whether they're independents, undeclared, Republicans, Democrats, what have you. I don't think it's our place necessarily to get into partisan politics on a nonpartisan dais. That's one serious issue I had with that, with the manner in which we're communicating our opinion on this issue. My personal opinion I've just stated, but as a nonpartisan body, I have some issues with that methodology. With respect to voter suppression, I think, and this being a Republican issue, look, it's not a Republican issue. Voter fraud affects every person, undeclared, Republican or Democrat, and it's not a matter of voting by mail. I support voting by mail as an alternative means to voting if you can't get to the polls on that day. It should be encouraged. What I have a concern about is a very causal connection to people who vote by mail and are also paid money to conduct supposed work on a campaign. And any public official, whether they're on this dais or not on this dais, who connects themselves to what I would suggest possible voter fraud, is taking a big risk in doing so. And I would caution against that until all the facts are fully known. And believe me, I'm a proud Democrat. It's not a Democratic or Republican issue. It's a voting rights issue. So, okay,
with all due respect, Councilman,
you
it is a Democrat and a Republican issue. It's been well documented throughout the country in this past presidential campaign. Excuse me. And the reality is that it's not about if you can't get to the polls anymore. It's a matter of if you choose to vote by mail, that is your right. Those rules were changed, and you know that, Councilman. It has nothing to do with your ability to get to the polls versus your ability not to get to them. If people choose to vote by mail, they have that right to do so. So to make any inferences to one particular group of people, in this case the landlords and anyone associated with them, to make the inference that the people who voted in this election committed voter fraud because there were people working on that campaign is ludicrous to me. It's absolutely ludicrous. Everyone has the individual right to vote how they choose to within the law, and they chose to do it that way. So why do we always put a negative stigma on Hoboken? We do it all the time. What we're saying is that our residents are committing fraud. That's what you're saying when you say that.
No. I don't hold it against anyone in the Fourth Ward or the Housing Authority. I hold it against the people who lead this effort. Okay.
Exactly. What I'm saying is,
and are victimizing those people within the authority.
And what I'm saying is, in this case, you're literally saying that those who worked on the campaign to oppose rent control.
I was there on election day in the Fourth Ward volunteering. There wasn't a single campaign worker who was working. Okay, it's a big fraud in my respectful opinion.
You're making those assumptions. I don't know what they did.
I was there. Did
they work weeks before? Did they work months before? I have no idea. And quite frankly, it's not my position to know.
Sorry for interrupting.
But to vilify those people is wrong, and that is absolutely Republican marching orders in this past election. And you can.
Councilwoman.